Ooh, what's up, jobbers, and welcome to another edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the ride is the man that would put me in a body bag and light me on fire, JC.
You know how I feel about those stupid matches, Nestlemania.
I thought we'd start off hot.
Yeah, let's start with AEW. Hell no, fuck AEW. I think neither of us fully watched that very much, so we'll talk about maybe a little AEW at the end because I can say how much fucking I hate John Moxley matches, but Nestlemania, there was a little bit of a Ooza palooza this weekend.
An Ooza palooza, you say?
That's what I heard.
Okay. Was it a Wrestle Palooza, perhaps?
It was. And I'm already 2-0, by the way, and didn't know I contender series tonight. Yes, Wrestle Palooza Nestlemania. How did the show start? Well, it started with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, because if Brock Lesnar is the main event and he's going first. And we obviously, when we talked about this match last week, we probably both predicted Cena because it was announced as the main event. I believe a day or two after we saw it was moved to first, and I believe we said, well, guess what? This is an easy way to have Brock Lesnar beat the fuck out of him and not upset the crowd because it's first. And what happened, Nestlemania? I thought it was beautiful. I'll just say this right away because I know a lot of the internet are a bunch of fucking babies. I love this booking. I love this match. I love how they did it because think about this. Brock Lesnar, 10 years ago, beat the fuck out of a prime John Cena. Now we have this withered, retiring John Cena taking on this fucking gigantic fucking monster man who looks in incredible shape on all the fucking juice, all the fucking roids and everything. And you want the old fucking retiree guy to beat him? You guys are fucking stupid. That's why you're on your couch with your hand in your pants and the other morons are booking it. Look, I've been just as critical of Triple H as everyone else this year, but I had no problem with this booking at all.
I was so interested in watching this, and I saw John Cena put up little to no offense, and then just Brock Lesnar F5 after F5. And then I saw an AA, and I was like, okay, cool, he's fighting back, whatever. And all I kept thinking about was, as good as John Cena has been in the last, 2-3 months, I think he's been on par with what he's normally been able to do. Brock Lesnar doesn't really have to do much to impress me. And the other thing, too, is John Cena's leaving. John Cena's not stupid. John Cena's a businessman. And if he wants to put over people on the way out, you got to put that momentum somewhere. And yes, you can debate whether he shouldn't lose until the end, so all that power goes to the last person that he faces. But it's Brock Lesnar. And when you got Brock Lesnar in there, folks, you do what you got to do. And I don't think, here's the thing. John Cena had a promo on Friday, I think it was, where he said, look, am I scared? Absolutely, but I do it anyway. I think he said that promo before when he faced Brock Lesnar. So it felt very eerie and similar. So I didn't really have a problem with it. I think the internet clearly had a problem with it because it's on his way out. I think a lot of people, I don't think they care so much. Maybe I'm trying to defend them and you tell me. I think people are more upset that it felt like a waste. It was 9 minutes. It felt like it didn't give us anything new, which I think is probably what people were probably trying to say, but it came off like this was a waste in general because he lost. But I'm just saying, John Cena losing does nothing to John Cena. Brock Lesnar winning does nothing for Brock Lesnar. It's fine either way. I don't really have an issue with it. What's up there, Haas? By the way,
I mean, I'll say with this about that kind of thing, because obviously they're all mad. They're all mad that he lost. How could it be one of his last matches and lost? What has this run been about? It's about John Cena facing his greatest hits, and Brock Lesnar is one of his biggest rivals and greatest hits. So to have him not be in this final stretch would be a disservice to what this final stretch is supposed to be about. And Brock Lesnar is the guy on that list that he should lose to, and that's why he lost to him. This wasn't his last match, guys. You're about to get your fucking boner fest in Australia. They just announced today with AJ Styles, which I'm thrilled because I really want that match as well again, because that was probably the most fun AJ's been in WWE was that feud. So it'll be cool to see. But come on, this is his third or fourth to last match or at this point. So it's who the fuck cares? He took an L. He just lost to Cody too. It happens. He's old retiring. He shouldn't be beating these fucking prime players. Come on.
I don't doubt how you feel. I'm just saying there's a lot of people in here that are just going to be bitching and moaning.
Because they're crybabies. It's they don't get what they want. And believe me, there's going to be a whole theme of what we talk about for the next 15 minutes breaking down Wrestle Palooza, because I just think that people are just looking for a reason. Even if there isn't one, they make one. And it's whatever. We'll get into it more because Next up, Nestlemania, I think, was the highlight of the show. Oh, no, Ron. Incorrect. The next part is probably the low point of the show, but I didn't hate it. The Brawns beat the Usos in a relatively fun match, probably the weakest part of the card, but it was fine.
I love the finish, personally. When I saw
it was
the
a
finish,
great finish, yes.
I was like, whoo, doggy. I felt bad because Dingbat hit himself in the the face with a chair and whatever, and it's just like, whatever. But like concussion protocol. I did laugh at the way the table landed on Big Jim and kind of folded like a sandwich on him. I thought that was funny too. Obviously the Brawns needed a win here. The Usos don't need anything, especially with the LA Knight factor going forward with Jey Uso. So I really didn't have an issue with that. I thought it was serviceable. It wasn't supposed. Here's the thing. This is something that some people know and some people don't know. We always talk about this, JC, in the program. You understand this because through osmosis and who you were a roommate with, but mostly because you're a student of the game. If you're not last, you want to be first when it comes to being the match. You want to be opening or closing. The worst potential place to be in a match, no matter what, in the order is second.
Yep.
Because the crowd went up, they come back down, and now they're like, what else you got? So, and obviously before the main event. So second is the worst here in terms of that. So they had a really, really hard, they already were disappointed supposedly with John Cena and Brock Lesnar. So they had their work cut out for them. I think they did a decent enough job and they did fine. I think on Monday, we can talk more about that later, but I just think that overall I had no problem with it. There was a point in which I thought to myself watching it, I thought, are the Usos out of practice a little bit? It did feel like that.
Yeah, there was a little clunky in that because I thought they had some cool spots and stuff, but it definitely wasn't a smooth match. Honestly, for me, and you're not going to like this, Nestlemania, my favorite part of this match was LA Knight. I thought he did a very nice job in his role, and I thought it was all serious, but it had like his mannerisms, so it just kind of worked. So
he wasn't wrestling. He played a strong suit.
But I know I thought he did a great job, and I know we like to shit on him, you especially, but I thought he was probably my favorite part of watching this.
Listen, I'll say this much. He was a great impartial referee. So I had no problem with him. Again, when he's not wrestling, he's fantastic. When he's wrestling, he shows his warts. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem with what he does. Moving on though. Let's get to the next match.
La Primera Campeón in the house, baby. I am so happy. I mean, we talked about this a lot, and I think we both kind of talked ourselves into being like, just make Stephanie the champ, because you have the character holding the mid-card title, so you can have, Stephanie be the wrestling champ, and it really is thin up there. These girls put on the banner. This was probably, in terms of in-ring, it was absolutely the best match on the card. I like the different match more just because of everything going with it. We'll get to that, but this was awesome. I know this was a high point. The moment afterwards is so special. Like, you get this sometimes when people win their first title and this is their dream, and the genuine moment with her dad in the crowd. Like, I live for this shit, man. I get the little tears in my eyes. Like, I love these moments and these stories because they're memorable. And I obviously love La Primera, so I was very happy. But the match delivered, the moment delivered. I thought this was a very, very, very good part of the show.
Her dad holding the title up was just like one of those moments you're like, oof, and like, you can tell it's special. So that's really important. Obviously, Io can't miss at this point, and she's on kind of a fire roll, regardless of whatever fucking stupid storyline she's in. But this was what we want. We wanted a wrestling match. We wanted something fun to be excited about. And of course, that spiral tap at the end is almost picture perfect every time, which is an incredibly difficult move to do. AJ Styles and La Primera are the only ones that I've actually seen that can actually do something athletic in that. By the way, I've never noticed this. I saw this clip the other day, and it was the first time I ever saw this. AJ Styles was originally in WCW back in the day. And so Billy Kidman was the person who used the shooting star press. But at some point in WCW, Billy Kidman stopped using the shooting star press, and AJ Styles started using it. And he didn't like AJ Styles, so he called him AJ Steels. That was what he called him. And AJ Styles said, fuck you. You think I'm worried about doing that? You don't even do the move anymore. So he goes, guess what? I'm going to do a move that nobody can do. And then he invented the spiral tap. So I was just like, that was a cool little nugget there. I just thought it was really fun. Also, huge Wang alerts here. Whoop, whoop. Here he is.
Oh, Wang gang.
He's in the house. It was the match of the night, as our boy, the Backcracker says. I will say this much. I think Backcracker said it is impossible to see how he got hit. I think what happened with the chair shot, going back for a second for Jey Uso, was he hit him and he kept his face down and the ricochet came back up and like cut him right in the top of the head. That's what happened if you look closely. So it is what it is.
I'm so confused. You just went backwards, or am I imagining that?
What do you mean?
We just went from Vaquer, and then now you're talking about Jey Uso. Did I tell
Well, no, because somebody in the chat.
Okay,
okay. Sorry. I just wanted to. It was a good question. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm trying to navigate this cruise because I know you're not 100%. So I'm trying to steer the ship this week. It's a little bit harder when you're not 100%. I get it. So
I mean, I feel 100%.
Yeah, just
stop Nestlemania. I thought this was the most fun match of the card, so I'd make it my match of the night, even though obviously I just said the other one was better in ring. But I thought AJ Punk and Seth and Becky delivered. I had a blast watching this match. It was everything I was kind of hoping for out of them. Their dynamics are very entertaining. Just like the lead up to AJ getting in there, I thought Becky did a great job helping her. It's been 10 years, correct? So it did a great job, like keeping her up to snuff. But this was a lot of fun. Obviously, it was great to see them win. There's something about this, and I said this when I was watching it. Mixed tag matches like this, we don't get them a lot, but I feel like I really enjoy them when they do. And I think especially lately, they've done a good job like mixing and matching who they are because it makes so much sense. But I always seem to enjoy these because I think it's just like it's not something we get to see all the time, and it's just a different dynamic. Like obviously the tag thing's a little annoying because it's like, oh, one tags and the other has to come in, but I find it cool, and I know we both enjoyed like the mixed match challenge back in the day. That's a tongue twister, but I don't know. I really enjoyed this. I thought all four of them did a great job, and I look forward to their little singles feuds we might be getting now soon.
I actually thought this was the best match of the whole weekend. So
we're on the same page.
I was because I love entertainment, and like yes, I love a good wrestling match too. So I mean, Vaquer and Io did a great job, and there was some really good stuff when it comes to AEW as well. I don't want to leave them out, even though I'm sure we should. But there was a lot of good stuff across the weekend here. But I will say this much. I did not have high hopes for this at all, in my opinion. And it wasn't because of the players involved. I just felt like it's always dicey when you do a mixed tag. I think there's always those fun spots, but then you're like, okay, how do we make this work? And I think the right person was in the end there. So Becky could take an L and no big deal. And Seth looked fine. And then, of course, Punk looks fine. It was AJ's moment anyway, but it's perfectly fine there. But the one thing I did want to point out here, which I think bears repeating here, because I get fucking trashed by one in particular friend of ours from overseas. I will say this much. I think the star of that entire match was Becky Lynch. I think here's why.
She's been the star of the feud, too.
I will say this much. She understands the role she needs to be in terms of not being liked. And I think Seth Rollins is starting to understand that by watching her. I don't know if they're rubbing off through osmosis or whatever, but I was watching this.
It's definitely not osmosis.
Well, yeah, it's sexually transmitted, of course.
They're actually rubbing off on each other.
That's true. But I will say this much. When I saw Seth Rollins press her and Punk moving out at the last second and just dropping, I was just like, that spot alone was worth the price of admission because I just felt like you just saw all the range of emotion. Like, I totally got this. I dropped my wife. Oh, fuck, I'm sleeping on the couch. Like, all of that was so good. And I think here's the thing I love about Becky in this role anyway, is that she's never been a wow competitor. Like, you've never watched her matches and been like, whoa, she's great. But what she is good at, which really was highlighted here, is making other people look good, other people look better, and she was being selfless in this moment. And I think Seth Rollins is an ultimate professional in this particular sense because clearly, you know, depending on who you believe, whether he likes him or not, but like, it's just, I think they all did a fantastic job. I thought Punk kind of put it the best he could. AJ is the question mark, JC, and I will say this much, and I know this is way too early to tell, but I know that you're a homer, so I'm probably going to get the response I would figure.
Greatest diva of all time.
Okay. But I will say this much. As I was watching her wrestle, and yes, it's not fair because it was the first time she's been there in 10 years wrestling. But all I could think about was, is she going to be able to have these fantastic matches with a Vaquer, with Io? Like, I think she's possible of stringing along good matches. I'm just curious to see if she can keep up because, Nikki Bella wasn't necessarily as good as AJ Lee. That's a thing, but we're concerned about Nikki Bella and where she's fitting in this landscape. But AJ is incredibly over. I would say even more over than in Nikki Bella. But I do wonder in terms of the wrestling ability. Obviously, the Baileys and the Roxannes of the world are going to be lining up to face her. But how do you feel about this? Because I do worry that there is a gap going forward.
I'm not worried because fantastic was the wrong word to use. Because if you're expecting AJ Lee to go out there and have 5-star classics, then I question if you ever watched AJ Lee. Like, she's very solid. She was good in that era. She was one of the best. And yeah, she's way better at wrestling than Nikki Bella. But the reason why I'm not worried about her having these matches is because what is her strength in Nestlemania? It's her character.
Yeah.
And during the match, every match she's ever had, she finds ways to bring her character out. And that is why, like you said, she is so over with the crowd. That's why we all fucking love her, because she's good at that aspect. And we always talk about wrestling. That's the most important aspect. And she's one of those characters that everything she does in the ring, she tries to keep it within character. And like, you notice that. So yeah, she's not out there doing all these amazing moves and having these mat classics, but she's very solid. And you combine that with her character work, I ain't worried about none of that, because she gets in there with Roxanne. Obviously, that'll be a blast. Like Bailey, like all these types of matches, like a Vaquer. Yeah, I'm not worried at all, because I think it'll be a very good match.
Fair enough. I'm just curious if there's a gap. I hope not. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think the character work will be good. It's hard because I'm just curious what's next for her. Is it the IC title? That seems like a logical point, right? So I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't know. I feel like we're on a Becky AJ course for the next, the rest of the year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the rest of the year, but I think we'll definitely probably have a couple, because even if AJ wins the title, then Becky will get a rematch, and if Becky wins, she'll probably cheat. And you would think that Punk is going to have a say with Seth at some point. I don't know if they drag that out to the Rumble or something like that, because it's a bigger match, but it feels like once we get through this Crown Jewel thing, that he could still be on the horizon, but we'll see.
Okay.
Main event. I was asking, but you didn't answer. Yeah, Cody retains here after the ref stops him when they try to do the exact same injury spot. So very easy setup for Drew to have his rematch and probably fly out to Australia and cost Cody Rhodes the fucking whatever they give them and let Seth be the fucking whatever. You can probably book that for my predictions right now. Yeah, I'm picking against Cody. But yeah, I will say, look, I know why they put it last. I can tell you why they put it last, because this match had the most intrigue of something happening, because people got bothered about The Rock doing this and that, or, oh my God, McIntyre might win the title, this and that. That's why you put it on last, because you're definitely working on with the Brock thing, but at least this, it's like, well, the crowd's going to go singing, whoa. So even if whatever, it wasn't a good crowd, this match wasn't anything special, except for, I will say, Nestlemania, Cody's sell on the Claymore, that might have been the best Claymore sell I've ever seen. I fucking popped for that. So that was my highlight of the match. But yeah, no, I get the criticism of this, but it just is very simple reason why this main evented. Because obviously, yes, the other matches were more fun. The match before this would have been fun, but it's just you knew these two were going to be consistent, and that there's intrigue because it's the world title. And for some reason, Nestlemania, we talk ourselves in The Rock a lot. Not me. I'm done. But it just everyone else.
Well, I think the bigger thing that you should see on the internet is the Triple H not having the surprises aspect, because again,
what, the Undertaker putting Stephanie McMahon in the Hall of Fame? Ooh, big surprise. Who cares?
I don't know. I mean, it's not necessary, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, I don't really care for the Hall of Fame anyway, so I don't.
No, but I'm just saying, they probably can't be oh, well, the surprise was the Undertaker, but you weren't expecting to hear that song.
Who cares? I just feel like the thing that always makes me laugh is when people are like, oh, he said all this stuff. He oversold it and he didn't deliver. And it's like, it's fucking wrestling. It's built on a lie.
Exactly.
It's used car salesmanship. That's what they do.
Do these people remember Tony Khan especially he doesn't do as much anymore, but this shit, this is gonna be the greatest thing we have to do, blah, 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 blah. It's just it's literally it's called promotion. You want people to watch, you want people to tune in, you want to be intrigued. And a lot of the times, because you build that up, stuff doesn't live up. That's how it works. It's disappointing. And wrestling, like you said, it is the ultimate promotion type thing. So yeah, you think he's going to be first show on ESPN, nothing special for this one. We have some good matches, but don't expect anything. Like, come on, what are we even talking about?
I do want to say one thing before we wrap this thing up on the palooza side anyway. I'm curious your thoughts about ESPN's article about the review.
So, I mean, have you ever like watched a TV show? I'm not saying this to you in general. Like, watch a sports TV show. You know what they put up at the end of the show? Views and opinions of the people on air, even if they work for us, do not reflect ESPN or whatever. Like, whatever you're watching. It's just like these people had to do a job. And obviously, like, yes, like sometimes there are extreme biases in coverage, but especially when you're a big company like ESPN, like this guy, he didn't like it. He was like out of the internet. He's allowed to write that. It is his job. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure WWE doesn't love it. Like an ESPN article coming out, especially for their first show, but like, that's just how it works. Being part of like the media. If you want to be part of sports media, that's what sports media is. It's very critical, especially like we live in Boston. There's no positive sports media. You could be the Patriots and win fucking 1,000 Super Bowls. Nope, you still suck. Get out of here. But it's just like, that's the nature of it. You want to be part of sports media. People are allowed to have opinions and say it. And I don't know, wrestling fans are also so fragile, as we know. It's just like anytime with this stuff, it's just like, wah, what can we find to complain about? But yeah, the article, I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff happens again, because this person isn't the company ESPN writing an article. He's an individual who is hired to give an opinion and be a columnist, and that's what he did. I disagree with him. I thought this was a great show. I'd give it a B+. I thought there was a lot of fun. There were cool moments. I didn't think anything was weak. I just think people, like, I think it's part of what you said with the lack of surprises, and also that people want to hate this because people don't like change. And this is a major change going on to ESPN and some people having to pay out more money. Guess what, Nestlemania? You're going to look for a lot of reasons to complain about it before you're going to enjoy it under all those scenarios.
Fair enough. I mean, I like I said, I thought there were really good high spots here. I thought there were a lot of fun. So I think, like I said, I wish the McIntyre thing might have changed a little different. I think that would have been a kind of a shock value thing, because Cody can lose this thing 45 fucking times. It's always going to go back to
They don't want to take it off their quarterback right now.
No, I understand. And rightfully so. I think the biggest miss for me is, and I understand this when we talked about it, but I do think it's important. I know that the whole point was to buy the tier of the unlimited ESPN so that you could see WWE. However, I just think that you would have gotten way more eyeballs because of the way they kind of confuse the audience here. With the cable provider.
That stuff is very out of the hands. Like,
no, it's not WWE's fault. I'm saying as an entity for Disney, ABC, whatever, they did a terrible job rolling it out.
This is what you have to do because it's leverage. And you want to create leverage. So ESPN, and the reason why they sign with the little ones is because it's like easy. But the reason why you make the big ones sweat is because you want to squeeze every dollar out of them. Make them pay more for this. And that's what it is. And obviously the big cable companies or whatever are trying to do the same thing. So it's like a stalemate. But for ESPN, it was a good business decision to let this play out like they did, because some people were probably desperate, like you said, and fucking shelled out $30. And other people, they're mad. And you know what? ESPN's like, look we're ready to come to the table. They'll blame it. And then you'll go and get mad at your cable provider, and it just creates leverage. That's what these things are always about. That's why all these types of things every year go down to the wire. This one, like we said, is extremely unique because down to the wire should have been December, but WWE pulled a fast one and be like, no, we want to go there now because we already did these 2 days events on Peacock. So we hit our number. So that's what fucked it up. So it's a combination of all those things, but it's all leverage, man. It's fucking business. It's stupid, but corporate gonna corporate, bro.
All right, well, let's move on to the regular part of the podcast. Let's get hopeful. Hopeful. She's getting a shine. Excuse me.
Say we're flying. Always in the shine, Nestlemania. And you know what? We're going to transition right off of it because you said you wanted Drew to win. If fucking Drew would have won, we wouldn't have got what we got on Monday, Nestlemania. This Cody Seth segment was perfect. I absolutely love this. Like, their dynamic is still there. We talked about it earlier in the year when they kind of shared a thing, and the thing that I noticed the most from it is like Seth's like kind of respect for Cody. Even though Seth is a bad guy, Cody's guy's been 3 times, but like Seth was the guy who helped him at WrestleMania. Seth was the guy, like Cody ran it down in that promo. He was the guy that gave me an opportunity at everything. And you can just see, I thought this was one of Seth's best character segments of all time because he did a really good job showing us his internal struggles with his facials, but also having the watch as a nice touch and like kind of fidgeting with it and whatever. And like, because if you listen to the Cody Becky podcast, you'll hear that he had never worn it. Like, that's a real thing. He brought that to TV. So this is the first time I'm wearing it. But I love this segment because this storyline has been fascinating to me. It's just like, when is Seth going to turn to jealous Seth and flip on Cody, or is he going to keep this soft spot for Cody? And we still saw in the segment, even at the end, he was very tormented, but he still has that soft spot for Cody. He's not letting his dogs destroy him like he would anyone else, especially with what Cody said and reminding him, you've never beat me in this. But I just find the dynamic and the character work here so good. And I mean, this, like I said, this is some of Seth's best work I've ever seen. So I'm eating this up. And normally we make fun of these stupid feuds because they're dumb. And it's like, oh my God, why is champion versus champion? Oh, you win some fake thing. But I thought Cody and Gunther did a good job last year because they both felt like the top. But having this type of thing, this Cody-Seth dynamic, I almost kind of like this better than one of them challenging the other for the title. Because it's putting them on that even footing, even though we know Cody has beaten Seth all 3 times. And Seth knows that too. And like, obviously he had the line that was really good, being like, either you don't think I'm good enough or you don't think I'm as good as you. And it just like, it perfectly encapsulates what this is. So I ate this up. And for feuds that are normally nothing, I'm loving this dynamic.
I mean, I don't know how many weeks we have until Perth. I think it feels like 3 weeks, but maybe it's 2. But I will say this much. I echo all your sentiments about what you just said, but I think it's interesting to me that this is just my takeaway from it from a viewer standpoint. I appreciate the character development. I appreciate the way Cody handled it with the watch and everything like that and the back and forth. I thought, again, really good stuff. The one thing that was a drawing parallel to me was that it felt like Seth Rollins specifically was presented in a way that even if he had all the garnishes and the managers and the goons, he still felt less than Cody Rhodes, which was kind of crazy to me because he's just Cody Rhodes by himself. Obviously, he's the guy, but we've always talked about, as long as Roman Reigns is around, Seth Rollins is Macho Man. He's not Hogan. So, but when Cody was in there, you feel like maybe there's an equal footing. But I was really interested in looking at that, and I walked away from it going, I still feel like Seth is less than, which makes me feel like he's a shoo-in to win.
Yeah, and you're supposed to feel that. Like that was the good thing with Seth, and that's why I thought that line was so powerful of him being like, you either think I'm not good enough or you think you're better than me. And it's like, no, we all think that. Like, he's literally 3-0 against you. Like, he's been the better man to you every single time you guys have met in this second Cody run. And it is. And yeah, I mean, that obviously he has the goons who could win that way, but to me, it feels like Drew just costing Cody in some capacity. It's such an easy thing. And then Seth can say he's number one, even though it has an asterisk, like it's wrestling, that's how it sells better that way. Cause you're supposed to hate this guy.
Anything else you thought was positive?
The only thing I really have from SmackDown is Sammy and Mello was an absolute banger.
I thought that was great. The only caveat was Blue Thunder Bomb finish, where I was just like, really? We're going to beat him with a secondary move? Whatever. I get it.
People complain all the time that people don't want their secondary moves. So
I know. There was part of me that was like, I don't know. Don't know. Is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all. Anything else, or you're done?
My last piece of shine is we're going to go to Raw. Rusev and JD. Baina! Big boy Rusev, little boy JD. I thought this was fun. And I love the dynamic of Dom and Rusev. This has been a very quick, just started kind of 2-week feud here. But it's just the dynamic of Dom actually being terrified of Rusev, as he should be. Rusev is a fucking monster. But I love that for this particular one, he was too scared to help JD. Finn had to run out from the back to come out. And they find a way with the Judgment Day. These guys are always fighting, but they never break up. But they find a way to make it interesting every time. And I thought this was well done because it's just like Dom is fucking terrified of Rusev. So much so that he wants the Judgment Day to have his back, as they keep saying to him, but he hasn't had their back. So it worked in a lot of ways for me. And next week we're going to get the match for the title. And we might have a new IC champ Nestlemania because Dom has a different title too. So he doesn't necessarily need it anymore.
I wish we had tag team titles.
We have who are the tag champs on Raw?
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
JD and Finn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know what? You know when they fucking fight in a tag team? Never.
No, they
I
don't
was thinking,
fucking fight tag teams.
I was like, New Day lost to someone. They beat the Viking Raiders.
It was a 6-man tag.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that did happen. Grayson looked great, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Jacked. He better rebook the crown jewel.
Aussie.
I'll
say this much. This was just a takeaway for me, which, again, I understand it didn't need to be a squash match. I thought it was kind of necessary to let JD get some offense in. But I thought as a person watching, I was just like, I understand what we're doing here, but it felt like JD got way too much offense on
Put
Rusev.
some respect on the tag team champ's name.
Oh, fuck you. You didn't even remember that he was a tag champ, so you don't get to pull that fucking stat out.
Blame me? Do they even carry the titles?
No. He don't give a shit. And he also has fucking unrecognizable music. It sounds like a garbage disposal going off, and the crowd was like not making it a discussion. And then all of a sudden they see Dom. They're like, "Oh yeah,
Do you remember JD's like NXT UK music? It was even worse.
I know. He just has unidentifiable music. But anyway, the other thing was like Rusev was selling too much. JD was getting too much, offense.
Because
and
Rusev has way too much respect for JD.
I know, but it was just like
literally. What have I said about Rusev? And Sheamus kind of the same way. These guys are just out there. They want to have bangers. So like, yeah, Rusev probably should have beat him a little quicker. But you know what, Nestlemania? You know what was my second favorite part of Raw? That match.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bad match. I liked it.
It's a little AEW-ish, where it's just like they for the sake of something that makes sense, they had a really good match. But every now and then, it's okay to mix that in. It's just when you do it every match is when I have a problem with it.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you liked, or we want to get heaty?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
You don't?
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. I personally believe that there was a lot of Monday Night Raw that was just absolute dog shit. Personally, I think this is the first time in a long time that they didn't really, I don't know, advertise anything. It felt like, which is unlike them in a lot of ways. I didn't really enjoy that aspect of it. I'll go through everything specifically that we can talk about. I'll go to SmackDown real quick. The women's tag titles happened. Great. Wonderful. It is what it is. Then we have the Street Profits not listening to each other. And here's fucking Tez and Bo and fucking, oh my God. We don't even have the tag titles in there. It's Bo and fucking Big Red against the fucking Street Profits. Like, I don't care about that at all. Personally, we also didn't talk about fucking the Fraxium versus the Big Bronze. I thought that was a fucking phenomenal match and a great ending as well. Naya and all those guys had a fucking shitty ass promo, and I don't care about this at all. Moving on to Raw. I'm not a big fan of this Usos LA Knight Vision thing anymore. Like, it keeps going and keeps going. I know we're going to get to somewhere special. It's just where we are right now feels like, what the fuck are we doing? The 6-man tag was fun. Didn't need to happen. Great fucking finish. Grayson Waller fucking champ taking the Super Destroyer. But all it was a smash job. Lyra and Bailey is absolutely fucking cringeworthy in terms of the fucking character stuff.
The Bailey, it's just like, I understand in theory about what we want from this, but like seeing it on television, it just doesn't work. It is, because it's just so cringe. This is like the type of thing, boy, Cap always says it. He's like, this is the type of thing when my wife walks in the room, of course, for this segment, and I'm so embarrassed. It just always seems to happen at that time. It's like your hands in your pants, you know?
Yeah, it's really just not fun to watch. And I think it's partly Lyra eating up scenery and overacting. I think it's Bailey trying to do her best, and she's doing whatever she can.
It's a bad storyline.
It is a bad storyline, and I feel like this isn't really fair because I don't know the person, but it feels like Bailey's trying to commit to this to the best of her ability, and it's still not enough. I feel like she needs to go all in on this to really do something interesting. And I'm just not feeling it. Like, as a viewer, I'm not believing it. I'm not believing that it's fun. It's bizarre to me. Like, once we get past this and there's an actual character that Bailey will portray, I'm assuming I'm going to like it and enjoy it because I like the person. But Lyra really has got a long road ahead here because she's so fantastic in the ring. But she gets put in these storylines where I feel like, with the exception of the Becky stuff, and part of that was kind of terrible too, but she's just not good enough yet to, and maybe it's the Irish in her. I don't know. And that's where Danny's going to come in and swing and a miss, but
Irish shamer.
I know. But it just feels weird to me. I don't know what it is. I can't put my, and then of course we have the fucking Asuka, Io, Kyrie, fucking the Rhea Ripley stuff, which again, we've talked about ad nauseum. It was the main event out of fucking nowhere.
It was a long main event too. I'll be honest, I fast forwarded most of it because at this point I was just trying to finish and get to whatever happened at the end. But I felt like it was a really long main event. It probably was a good match.
It was a good match, and the crowd loved it, which again, all that matters. The crowd at there loved it. The crowd at home, probably enjoyed it too. I mean, I thought that was one of the best miss I've ever seen because it like took up all of her body and it was just like from head to toe blue. And I thought that was like a nice little touch here. And of course, Kyrie and like beating, I think Kyrie was the best part of it only because it was like,
always,
I have to beat you up now because I'm afraid of the, that my girlfriend over here is going to shank me. So I get that. So I thought that was fine. Oscar did a better job turning heel than John Cena did, in my opinion. It was just interesting. But now we get off to hopefully something that's not so cringeworthy. But I just feel like the women can wrestle, the women can go, they do all sorts of great stuff. But I don't understand. I don't think that men like in the creative process are really doing a good service for these women lately. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying they're sexist.
I can tell you what it is. Bruce Pritchard and Triple H are not good at booking women. It's that simple. Like it's literally like we see what Shawn Michaels does at NXT and we see what happens on the main roster. It's just, we can say it. It's true. They need to get like more TJ Wilson involved in things, like more Molly Holly. Like it just get more representation because we've seen it. When you watch that Netflix show, what did you see around that table, Nestlemania? A lot of old white men, particularly old white wrestlers. And guess what? From that era, they're all Triple H's friends and they all think the same. So there's not a lot of diverse ideas coming through. So it's one of those things that's like, yeah, they're bad at booking women on the main roster. It's that simple. Because most of the men's storylines are great. What's the disconnect? So they can have maybe one good woman's storyline at a time. That's it. And it's usually because the women just succeed on their own, like Becky and Lyra did in that feud.
Okay. Want to get hopeful?
Glorious.
You're my only hope. Would you like me to go first?
Yes, because I don't have one.
I figured as much. Okay, so my hope is very simple here, folks. I think a couple weeks ago I might have said this, and now I'm changing my tune. This was not something on my dance card, but it happened on Monday because Jimmy asked Cody to talk to Jay. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, I didn't see the idea of Cody and Jay facing each other for that WWE championship. I did, but it's happening and it's going to happen and it's going to be a very awkward conversation. And I think I'm ready for this. I think Cody and Jay being tag champs, being together, all that stuff, like I think all of that works, but man, oh man, I think I kind of love where Jay's character's headed. And I think Cody can really bring out a lot in this character portion of it. But like the other process is like, okay, Jay wants to get to the top. I don't think Jay's going to be able to do it alone. I thought it'd be Jay as the tribal chief, and maybe that is the longer road down the line. But I think there's a curveball here. I think that Jay is going to challenge Cody. There's going to be some type of disconnect here, and it's just going to be really, really disgusting and like murky for them, like going forward. And I can see Jey Uso being the fifth man with the vision on War Games against Cody and friends. I just see that happening. Because I think Jey Uso is kind of right. They're going to try to keep him separate from everything else in this world. And he's got to be a heel. He has to be a heel because, yes, he's over with the Yeet. But I think when I watched his promo with him and his brother on Monday, it felt like he was misunderstood. He felt like he was not being heard. And I think those are like legitimate feelings that you watch as a person and go like, I've been in that position before. So technically he'll be a heel. But the best heels are the people that believe that they're right. So I think that Jey Uso, I have hope that, Jey Uso can make this work. And I think Cody's going to help him along the way. So that's my hope.
I hate it.
I don't care if you hate it. That's my hope.
Jay in the Vision is fucking shit. Don't do that. Jay in a singles heel run is shit. Don't do that. We just put the Usos back together. You want to turn him heel? Turn them both heel. Let him tag team it up. Enough of this fucking bullshit. Yeah, he can challenge Cody once. It's fine. Get his fucking ass beat by the Kane and then go away. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's an interesting like storyline to watch now, but I don't want any of those things to happen. Why would I? Like that's terrible. Joe said it perfectly. He said, "I don't need a Jay heel run in my life." I agree. You want to do an Usos heel run, sure, but Jay by himself, not for me.
Super bad. Where's your hope, baby boy?
I literally had one and I just forgot it.
There it is.
No, my hope is that Tiffany Stratton loses the SmackDown women's title.
Tania Jax, exactly. Tania Jax.
I mean, that would be my second choice. I just hope Jade wins it, so all you can complain about how bad she's at wrestling.
Too bad we don't have a cash-in available, huh?
We can go from one woman who isn't that good at women's wrestling to another woman who isn't that good at women's wrestling, but we both love them because they're awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, Nia winning again would just be insufferable. And then we'd have Nia versus Stephanie. Because that's the thing, winner of this match faces Stephanie. I'm like, Tiffany Stephanie, yeah, not bad. Jade Stephanie would be my favorite. Nia Stephanie, but I don't know. My hope is pretty simple. Tiffany loses, and Tiffy time needs to end.
She's not losing.
She needs to be a fucking heel. I'm so sick of babyface Tiffany. It's fucking terrible. They don't know how to book her either way, so I guess it doesn't matter. But hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Give it to fucking Jade. Why not? A storm is coming.
I just have zero faith that Stephanie Vaquer can have a great match with Jade.
Oh, I think it'd be a great match. Watching Jade get devil kissed, I think we'd all win.
I have a feeling that she'll get her. Please clip that, Backcracker.
Comeback, Nestlemania. My comeback's pretty simple. It's Brock fucking Lesnar. He looked incredible. Like, I think that's the thing that people have lost. It's like Brock Lesnar is way older now, but he looks fucking great. And that was the most believable thing I watched all weekend. So now it's like, I'm ready for Brock Gunther. I'm ready for all these like Brock like meat matches. Like, fuck, you want to get crazy and give me Brock Femi? Oh, a big boy. That would be fun. But yeah, Brock gets my comeback. He looks fucking great. I don't know when we'll see him again, but he looks fucking fantastic. So he deserves it.
Being yoked is no joke.
Yeah.
What I gotta say about that? He's yoked. My comeback goes to one Cleveland, Ohio's own Miz on commentary. I thought it was hilarious that they, obviously we had Corey Graves taking F5 earlier on Friday. The Miz walks out, the crowd's chanting, "This is awesome." The Miz did a really good job on commentary. I think he might have a future in it. I don't know exactly where he can plug and play because it seems like it's not a lot of real estate there, but because Wade and Booker and of course Pat McAfee and whatever else you want to say about Corey Graves, but I think the Miz is pretty good too. Whether he's a manager, whether it's going to be, on commentary, I think he can do it all. He's a utility player and he does his best work whenever he's just thrown into something and says, fuck it, I'll make it work. So he surprises me every time he gets put in a position and he makes it really good. So I'm getting it to the Miz.
He's one of the greatest of all time. And whenever he's been asked to fill in on commentary, I agree. I think he's done a great job. It's something that's definitely in his future, but the Miz ain't done wrestling anytime soon. So we ain't got to worry about that. The table could definitely clear by the time Miz is ready. Miz and Punk. Imagine having one show where your color commentator's Miz, the other one's Punk. Like, come on. You put them together at PLEs? Come on. Don't tell me that's fucking gold. Huh? Huh? Fucking Miz wannabe on fucking AEW, that fucking loser. He sucks at commentary. Miz is great at it. Another thing Miz is better at than Daniel Bryan at. Good comeback, Nestlemania. Shitty hope. Good comeback. We go to the big old finish. On SmackDown, it is Tiffy, Jade, and Nia. You're picking Tiffy because you're a coward. I'll pick Jade because fuck it. We head over to Raw Nestlemania. We got an IC title match between Dominic Mysterio and Rusev. We have Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. We have the Usos versus the Bronze in a rematch. This time it is a tornado tag. And we have the Dragon of AJ Lee taking on the Americanos.
Cool. AJ Lee and the Americano. The Americanos thing is so fucking
it's AJ
weird.
Styles and Dragon Lee.
I know. AJ Lee. I know.
The Americanos thing, you know how we've talked about it. It's ridiculous. But I did love that Ludwig got to voice the vignette.
Okay. It's fine.
Rusev, new IC champ next week. What do you think?
I thought he'd be facing AJ's. Finn. I thought just something the way that it is. I feel like Finn's gonna get involved and push this off. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're gonna save Dom, and they'll probably save this for maybe they'll do it at Crown Jewel. Who knows?
Okay, fair enough.
NXT No Mercy time.
Sure.
The nice thing is, 2 matches have been added since the show started.
Are these predictions or are they not? I don't know.
Yeah, of course they are. It's NXT, bro. We always do NXT.
Okay.
It's on Saturday, bro.
Well, I don't think he put it in the sheet yet. That's why.
Well, he said he was busy. He told us that in the chat.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have time to type this shit up, do I?
Yeah, I'm going to read it, and you're going to type it as I read it.
What if I don't want to? Maybe I want you to type it in. Maybe you should do that.
I can't. You definitely don't want me to do that right now.
I can't do this from an iPad. I'm sorry. So.
Well, just write down who we pick, and then you can type it in after.
All right, fine.
Problem-solving skills. Come on, bro. But yeah, we have 6 matches. One match, we don't know who the champion is going to be, but we probably have a good idea who the champion is going to be. But first up, this match was added seconds ago. It is a singles match between Javon Evans and Josh Briggs.
He's bouncy. I'm picking him.
I really hope he wins, but I have a feeling that fucking loser Josh Briggs is going to win. So give me
Really?
Josh Briggs. Yeah, just the way they've been booking it. It just, I don't know. He needs it more, and Javon's just been on this weird skid. But I hope you're right because I love Javon and I don't like Josh Briggs.
So who are you taking?
Josh Briggs.
Okay.
Next up, we have a weaponized steel cage match between the Glamour, Blake Monroe, and Jordan Grace. Refresh me. I believe Blake Monroe won match number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this is match number 2. It is a weaponized steel cage match. Give me Jordan Grace.
I think Jordan Grace is going to win here, but I also think that I could be talked into the idea of the girl from hell, right, winning this as well. So
I would like that.
I think that would be way more fun, but I don't know. You got to keep this feud. I mean, you figure that the steel cage feels like a feud ender, but I don't know why it would be second. But
maybe it is. Maybe Blake goes 2-0.
Maybe
she wins the women's title from what we're going to predict later. Next up, we have you're going to love this one, singles match for the WWE Women's Speed Championship. Sol Ruka defends her title against this Lainey Reed character.
Don't care.
Gonna make a prediction.
Sol.
Yeah, me too. I don't like Lainey Reed. I don't get it. Like she's someone from like Evolve, right? Yeah, I don't get it. Next up, we have a singles match for the NXT North American Championship. The champion, the greatest of all time, Ethan Page, defends against Tavion Heights.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ethan Page.
They're really pushing the shit out of Tavion Heights. It's like they think he has charisma because he's a fucking American Olympian who didn't win. He has no charisma.
Because Gable
he's a great wrestler.
Was not Gable. I even forgot his name now. Gabe, what was it? What was the dude that fucking the Olympian that didn't work out? Stevenson?
Oh yeah. What the fuck was his name?
Was it Gable Stevenson or something?
Gable Stevenson, yeah. Well, he didn't work out because he's an idiot. And he's actually doing, I think, MMA or something now. So yeah, he switched up. But no, Tavion Heights, I watch him and I'm like, he'd be a really good tag team wrestler. That's not an insult. I just think his moveset is super fun. You find him a good partner, it'll make up for his lack of charisma because he deserves to be in there, in ring wise. It's almost as if him and Miles Bourne as a tag team was a good idea. And they broke him up. Maybe they'll get back together. But yeah, give me Ethan Page.
Yeah, Ethan Page all the way.
Yeah, and then hopefully Ethan Page gets called up soon because we need him, and especially now that there are rumors Piper Niven's injury could be career-ending. Chelsea Green and Ethan Page need each other. That would be a bummer too. We have 2 matches left, Nestlemania. Next up is a singles match for the they're double title in this. Oh, because they're merging them tonight. I don't know. I'm still not thinking this. This is a singles match for the NXT Championship and TNA World Championship. We are predicting this before the Oba and Trick unifier match happens. But as we talked about before the show, we expect there could be a little invasion thing here. So maybe they don't merge the titles. But whether they do or not, a match is happening between likely Oba Femi and Ricky Saints. Maybe Trick and Ricky Saints. Is it Ricky Saints' time, Nestlemania?
I would think if there was ever a believable moment, this is the moment to do it because you could get TNA involved to fuck over Oba or a Trick, and then you would be able to get Ricky off by himself, and then you could go to the races with a TNA NX or TNA. Sorry, is it NX TNA invasion? They're gonna do a pay-per-view or some type of special show, so I mean you could see that writing on the wall. So I think it'll be fun either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Oba.
Okay.
Oba must pose. I feel like Ricky is probably one of the few guys that could beat him. I don't think they're doing it yet. Next up, this looks like it could be the main event. It's my girl. Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane with Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix takes on Lola Vice. They're not in Miami, her actual home base, but they're in Fort Lauderdale, which isn't as far. Nestlemania. Does Lola Vice win the NXT Championship here?
It's very possible. She's universally loved and great in the ring and fun to watch. I'm just surprised JC Jane still has it.
JC's been really good to her credit.
I'm going to pick JC. I don't feel 100% great about it, but I'm going to go with JC. That's my gut feeling.
I'm picking Lola Vice. I think this is going to be the surprise. I think she's ready to get more put on her plate. I think it sets up a lot of fun feuds with her. We've seen her and Jada Parker have great chemistry. Jada's obviously been trying to sniff around the title, but I think it also sets up for the eventual Girl from Hell beating Lola Vice and winning that NXT title. And then maybe Jordan Grace gets it from her eventually and finally gets it. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to pull a trigger on Lola Vice here. I feel like it's just going to be the surprise of the show. So give me my girl Lola.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it for that pay-per-view.
Okay.
We picked 6 matches, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm
no Dark State. What a shame. Oh, what are we going to do without Dark State?
I'll tell you what we can do. Have a good time because they fucking suck. It's why.
It's unbelievable. Like NXT is so good, but they just can't help themselves with a shitty Retribution, like very shitty Retribution knockoff. And believe me, Retribution already was the knockoff. So you don't want to be the knockoff of the knockoff. That sucks.
And don't be a knocker unless you watch this show. Listen, should we go to All Out?
Yeah, you can steer this ship because I saw chunks of this. They always put on good pay-per-views. The fans are always happy. They get to fucking jerk off to their matches. But I don't know. I saw most of the Moxley Darby Allin match and I want to throw up. I hate those matches.
Okay.
I just don't like them.
We're not going to do the prelims because I just refuse to. It is what it is. First off, we got Cope and Christian, or Christian and Cope, depending on who you ask, against FTR in a tag match with Beth Phoenix or Beth Copeland, beating the shit out of Stokely, and them Spike pile driving Beth, which I thought was nice as well. But they won. I thought this was going to be the main event. They kicked off the show this way. It's a fun match. It's fine. It's wonderful. Maybe I was just hoping for more. I don't know. I just felt like this is probably not the end. This is probably just the beginning, so I have to be patient. But I'm curious your thoughts because you're definitely both of these guys. You know, you're.
I mean, this was a definite dream match, but as we see, dream matches don't always live up to the hype because you call something a dream match in Nestlemania. What's your expectation? You know, so I think that definitely was against it because I mean, it wasn't anything amazing, but I still enjoy. I love these guys' chemistry. I'm glad they got to do this. I do hope they do another one. I think it's been a fun feud. I still would have liked this to be for the tag team titles. I think that would have made it more interesting because these are actual tag teams. Like one's a Hall of Fame legendary tag team and the other one's going to be a Hall of Fame legendary tag team. Yet we have a fucking random AEW is like just gone full WWE with random people teamed up. Bro Dito, dumbest fucking name in the world. They fucking suck. That match was a waste of time. But yeah, no, I was fine with this. I knew it wouldn't live up, but I'm just glad it happened.
Moving on. We've got the King of Bums taking on Big Bill.
I have no comment.
They don't know how to book Big Bill. It's very apparent.
I don't give a shit about Big Bill.
I love Eddie Kingston promos.
I
don't give a shit about Eddie Kingston wrestling.
I'm not going to disagree with that either.
His back fist that missed was the end of the fucking match. You're like, God damn it. What an exclamation point. Mark Briscoe defeats MJF in a tax and tables match, which I called because MJF had a bad weekend. And, of course, everybody loves Mark Briscoe. So there you go with that. The Demand beats the Hurt Syndicate in trios match, which
is that what they're calling themselves? The Demand?
The Demand, yeah.
Dumb fucking name, but I'm glad they won, as I expertly predicted. I told you. They're getting a nice push. And I will say Ricochet and them are a good pairing. They work. It's a fun faction. And yeah, I mean, this is how it should go.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Moving on, Mercedes Moné versus Rio. 16 minutes flat. I mean, at this point, it's the same song and dance. I don't think anybody is ever going to put Mercedes in danger. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I've never been interested in a Mercedes promo. I've always enjoyed her work in the ring. You know, that's like upper echelon talent in the ring. But now I'm getting to the point where I feel like I'm not tuning in to watch the match to see if she's in danger. I just tune into the match because I know it's going to be good.
Yeah. What's the matter with that?
But I just feel like I want to know who's going to beat her. I want to feel like it's the same thing. Like, we can talk about it separately because we were like, can Toni Storm ever get beat? But we'll talk about that in a second. But it's just fascinating to me because Mercedes is doing a lot for women's wrestling. But I also feel like at some point she has to lose that title.
She will. But like, right. why have her randomly lose it? Because you just said it yourself. You can't think of who would beat her.
No, I know.
That's what I mean. Because there isn't anyone who should beat her right now. Like, the only person who beat her was Toni Storm, who is the greatest women's wrestler of all time in AEW by like infinity. It's not even fucking close. Like, how just like with her resume and the work that she has done there and the way she was booked. She beat the unbeatable Mercedes. She beat the unbeatable Athena. So it's one of those things. Like there's going to be some young up and comer, and they're going to pull the trigger on her, and it'll be good. But I don't think she's that young or an up and comer. And plus, she was in the other one match, right? She was the fourth. Yeah,
that's true.
They're a great faction because I love Sky and Julia. But yeah, I don't. It's not time. It's Mercedes. She hasn't fought Rio. People wanted to see it. Now they got to see it. On to the next.
Our boy, the Joe Stopper, says Rio was just out of her element. She needs to be David to Goliath.
Yeah, she's not that much smaller than Mercedes. I get what he's saying. This is a match where, like you say, like, oh, two amazing wrestlers, it will be great. But then when you see it, it's just like they're just too similar. It happens. That's why I like big boys and little boys. Meat and less meat.
That came out wrong.
I also like meat on meat, so.
Also, I think he didn't mean it that way. Anyway, moving on, we've got Kazuchika Okada versus Takeshita versus Dorado. Triple threat, three-way, 21 minutes flat. You know, I think Takeshita is really special. That's what I'll say about this. I don't think he'll ever be in WWE, but by golly, is he special. And Okada, when he wakes up and stops being a fucking idiot, does his great work. I'm not impressed with Dorado. I thought it was fine, but probably also dealing with Daniel Bryan yelling on commentary the whole fucking time just makes things worse. But I will say, Takeshita is a special gentleman. He's a specimen, if they would. So,
yeah, he's good. Next.
The worst match in possibly AEW history, Jon Moxley defeats Darby Allin in a coffin match, 20 minutes flat, and of course getting lit on fire afterwards. Immediately extinguished, which was not great.
The unbiased commentator, Daniel Bryan, also gave Darby Allin a plastic bag, so, you know, we could suffocate people again. I fucking hated this match. I hate these types of matches. I just don't like Jon Moxley matches ever, as he stabbed himself with a fork for no reason. And I love Darby, but not in these types of matches. Enough with these. We've had enough.
I feel like they could have done a better job booking Darby Allin in general. Like, they could have made him feel more special. And I'm not, like, the dude went to Mount Everest. You know what I mean? Like, he's got like this cool vibe, and he's kind of a psychopath, even though he's a tiny guy. And like, I still believe that he's going to have a chance because he's like nuts and will use his body as a weapon. But I think Jon Moxley has gotten to a point in his life where we cannot believe anything he does. And like, he's going to a point where he's got to like do these daredevil, stabby, stupid shit things to make himself get some street cred. And in the process, he's just turning us all off. I don't know. I don't know how he can he turn it back? Can he turn the volume down?
Because he has control of himself, and this is what he wants to be. Like, he has full control to do what he wants. This is what he wants to be. But also, you know what else sucked about this match, WrestleMania? Another Death Rider came back. So now we have like 15 Death Riders. It's so bad. And every time I see Neville's back, and he had a new look, and more of the same out of this faction.
Neville looked like a high schooler, like a ninth grader who got facial hair for the first time and looked not menacing at all and wore a regular like outfit. And I was just like, man, I miss the bastard. Man, I miss the king of the cruiserweights. The look he has now with the short hair, with his giant Mickey Mouse ears, does not fit him well. Not at all.
Yeah.
No pack slander. There's plenty of pack slander. You want to know why? Because our boy Danny Grimwood would also say that I'm a slanderer over here as well, or a shamer, or whatever he wants to call me. But you know what? He looks fucking stupid with that haircut.
It is a bad haircut.
Yeah, it's a bad fucking haircut.
I just like get Pac out of this faction. Why? Like the whole point of the bastard Pac is he's like this fucking like badass individual, but no, he's a fucking Jon Moxley fucking butt licker. Like the rest of these, like fucking no charisma Cesaro, fucking no charisma Wheeler Yuta, and now my poor boy Daniel Garcia. No more Dancy. Now you're hoodie follow around Jon Moxley.
Either way, not a good look. Moving on. The head scratcher and celebration of the night was Chris Statlander. Can't talk, I'm tired. Chris Statlander defeats Tony Storm, Jimmy Hayter, and Tekla. 11 minutes, 55 seconds. And Tony Storm seemed shocked, obviously. What are your thoughts on this, JC? I'm really curious.
It would definitely surprise me. I don't hate the idea of it because it's something different. I think Stat's believable. Obviously, when you get a fatal four-way, we always say it's an easy way for the champion to retain. It's also an easy way for the champion to lose. But yeah, it definitely shocked me. Look at Jamie Hayter's my girl. If you would have let me pick, I would have picked her. But I'm fine with it being Stat because I'm curious to see what they do with it. My guess is they'll flop it and just like they always do in AEW. When it doesn't work, they just put it back on Tony. But no, I think there's some interesting dynamics here. So I'm willing to see this one through a little bit because I do enjoy a nice surprise, and this was certainly a surprise.
I think Tony's perma over, so it doesn't really matter what happens here. And I think Statlander's been kind of the person that can really give other people good matches. I just don't know if they're going to make Statlander part of the Death Riders. So then it's going to fucking ruin that championship.
Yeah, she's probably going to be part of the Death Riders.
And to me, that's career suicide in terms of making her something special. Because she is special. She's fantastic. What?
I just hate the Death Riders.
Okay. Brodito, you just said you didn't want to talk about that. It was a fucking car wreck. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher. 38 minutes, 10 seconds. Holy fuck. I forgot how long this match was.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. What you would expect out of these two. This isn't a main event to me. This is a TV match that they put on as the main event. Yeah, this was a nothing. This was like, yes, I understand you guys get to jerk off over this amazing match. It's fine. But he was never a believable challenger for Heyman. This was literally just a stroke off because my boy Wardlow got hurt again.
Fair enough. That's fine.
Did you like it? It's my match of the year. I love it.
Oh, look, I mean, Kyle Fletcher's a special dude. He's only 26. He's only 26 years old. So I think like the sky's the limit, as we say, Avery Bradley.
The sky is blue for him.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that man will never have blue balls unless the hair dye gets down, and it's never mind. Anyway, it's the whole thing. But no, listen, he's a specimen as well. So it is what it is. But I am curious, JC, like, does he break out of the Don Callis family? Does he become a champion? I know he's a TNT champion.
I mean, they all do eventually, but I think he's such a staple of it right now, and it really has helped elevate him. I think he's going to stay as a mid-card champion for a bit. Like, this was just like they needed to fill and they knew it would be a good match. He's part of the family. Like, I get it. I get the position they were in. I just wouldn't have had it actually main event, but whatever. You knew it was going to be a good match. They went way too long, as usually we say, because there's a lot of things I could do in 38 minutes, and watching one match usually isn't something that I want to do the whole time. So
I can think of a couple of things I can do in 38 minutes. Anyway, overall, it was a pretty good show, but, hopefully they continue to have some momentum there as well. Moving on to Dynamite very quickly, because we don't have a lot to talk about, but here we go. We have we've got Statlander versus Mina for the AEW Women's Championship. That's interesting. So clearly
Mina, who was just fighting for, I think, like the nothing, and she just ran. This is the problem. Like, she just won. Like, keep going.
And then here's another head scratcher. The conglomeration is Hologram and Mark Briscoe taking on the Don Callis family. I'm sorry. It's a 6-man tag. That's what it is. So we're waiting on Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and somebody. Maybe it's Kyle Diabetes or whatever his name is. We've got, and of course, I'm not even going to, I assume Takeshita and Okada are going to have a problem. That seems illogical. Then, of course, we've got the Tony Khan big freaking announcement here. So who knows what's happening? Hopefully it's not overhyped.
I don't know what I think is worse. When I hear the word conglomerate, my brain immediately turning off because that faction fucking sucks and no one cares about any of them. Or Tony Khan making an announcement that's going to be about some fucking show being somewhere and not who fuck cares. Like, it's literally going to be like, our next pay-per-view is going to be in this city. Yeah, I want to go do some cocaine.
All right, then. My thought was maybe he'll say that they're not going to be part of the WBD family anymore because Netflix will buy that shit out and they're going to be on YouTube the rest of their life. Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, it'd be very available and you can make money on YouTube. Oh my God, he's dead.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything unless you have something else you want to bring up.
No.
Okay. All right. On that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery.
New IC champ.